Hi guys, so y'all already know what time it is. It's going to be a I don't actually know. You guys might not know what time it is. Okay, so excuse the hair. I told y'all I'm over this whole straight hair thing for right now. So because my natural curls are shot, I have to cheat and I have to wear braids. So don't mind the raggedy braids, okay? Just it's a part of the look, okay? But today I wanted to do something that I've been wanting to do for a while. If you don't know, I personally love commentary videos. I find them really interesting. And I'm talking about like all types. I like anti-MLM. I like, like the creep show art stuff, like the deep dives that people do on other creators or certain topics. Like I like talking about social issues, things like that, social injustices. I just like commentary videos. And I've always wanted to like dabble into them, but in a kind of different way. I'm not one of like the research, sit down and do all that kind of stuff. I just kind of want to talk about it like a regular conversation and about things that honestly don't mean anything. Like this is not important. These topics aren't important. It's just interesting to me. So today I wanted to do something like that on kind of like the it girl, girlfriend, baby mama, businesswoman pipeline, I find it really interesting because I am one that indulges in toxic pop culture. Like I do find things fascinating and interesting, like the shade room and stuff like that. I know it's toxic, I know it's problematic, but it's just what interests me, I guess. So I've always wanted to talk about, like I said, this pipeline between like becoming an it girl, these it girls, and then how they come to where they are, as well as everything that's been going on. If you've been living under a rock, everything that's been going on with Ari and the whole problem, like honestly, her problematic history. Like she's a very problematic person. So I just find it fascinating and I just want to talk about it. So I'm going to do my makeup while I'm talking about it. And I'm going to be using like certain terms like baby mama. I'm not using it in a derogatory term. I'm not trying to say, I'm just, for the lack of better term, that's why I'm using it. I'm not going to be saying it like a lot, but just in case I do use it, I'm not trying to like come for her because this is basically more of like an Ari video. I will get into it, but you'll see what I'm saying. Also, if Ari herself is watching this or her stans, yes, okay, I'm broke, I'm bored, I don't have anything better to do with my life. I get my jewelry from Forever 21 and I drive a Honda. I got it, yes, because y'all know she is notorious for calling somebody broke, and so is her stans, so we get it. I'm poor and yeah. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So basically what caught my attention is because for the longest time, I've always find it really fascinating about how social media has really molded our culture. You know what I mean? Like it used to be all about video vixens. Like you were the it girl if you were in music videos. Now you are the it girl if you're an Instagram model with a Fashion Nova brand deal and Fenty, Savage X Fenty, endorsements and stuff. So I just find it really fascinating because back in the day, it wasn't like that. It was, the Erica Menas of like, you would see the same girl in, not that Erica Mena was a video vixen. She was just the first person to pop into my head because she was in a lot of music videos. So that was like way back in the day. So now we're going to go into like the Amber Rose, Black China era. I feel like, okay, so when I think about it, if you think about like Lil Wayne, T.I. kind of, if you want to put him in that kind of category. But I'm thinking about like the it rappers, like what's her name? Lil Wayne's ex-wife. I completely drew a blank on her name. But anyway, Ray Janae's mom. She is basically like the perfect example of like what it was back in the day. Like she was the rapper wife, you know what I mean? And I feel like rappers no longer get married the way that they used to, like they did back in the day. And so it kind of evolved into the Black Chynas and the Amber Roses. So these are what I would consider video vixens. Like Black Chyna was a video vixen because she was in everybody's music video. She was in Future's music video. She was in Nicki Minaj's music video. Drake shouted her out in a song because, well, okay. Because now that I think about it, it went from video vixen to strippers to now the Instagram it girl. Do you know what I mean? Because that's what they were known for. That was when like the stripping era really popped off. So it's kind of funny to me how this all like goes down, because if you really think about it, social media has like just completely changed everything, obviously. So really, Black Chyna and Amber Rose walked so everybody else could run. And that they did, because if you guys remember, like it was the biggest deal, like Black Chyna and Amber Rose. Like when Amber Rose first like popped on the scene, everybody was talking about her, like the bald hair, the blonde, the big butt, like that was like when the big booty, big boobs, like that whole thing just really was popping. And then they were dating rappers, dated Wiz Khalifa, dated Tyga, which I still to this day don't know the hype with Tyga. Like Rack City was not a good song. Like I just don't know where Tyga, I feel like Tyga is one of those things where like we're one of those people where it's like, why are you here? But yet you are like still relevant in your own weird way. It's kind of funny to me, because like not for nothing, I feel like Black Chyna completely, like she's another one, but it's like you kind of did better than Tyga. You know what I mean? But anyway, so it's like they kind of started that, and it really, I find it interesting because now in this new generation, it's Jada, India, and Ari. I feel like that is like the holy trinity of rapper's girlfriend / baby mama. Okay, so I find it really interesting because I do believe it takes a certain kind of girl and a certain kind of aesthetic that these girls embody, which now we call it like the it girl, but I don't know what the term was used back in the day, but it's kind of crazy because they are, like, for whatever reason, whether you think they're pretty, you think whatever, they're cool. People just like them. They're the popular girls. For whatever reason, people like them. And it's like they are always at the hottest things. They're always wearing the hottest clothes, the newest trends. Like you can't, I feel like a lot of people, even though they like Ari, for example, is very problematic, and like Black Chyna was very problematic, you can't take away from the fact that they are cool. Take the term cool how you will, but they're cool girls. Like people gravitate towards them. People want them at their parties. People want them at their clubs. People want to wear what they're wearing. Like, let's be serious. And if you really want to go there, this is a whole other issue, but it's like they're the ones that set the trends, not the Kardashians. But let's not go there, okay? So I just find it really interesting that they were able to embody this kind of like it girl status, because even when you look back on Jada and Ari, like before they were even famous, they were popping in their city. They were popular people. So they just got access to a lot more popular people just because of the status that they had in their cities and in their town. Because I believe Jada was from Savannah, Georgia. I don't think she was originally from Atlanta, and Ari is from Chicago. So it's like you got more of a buzz. Like you got a buzz by yourself. And I think that is something that a lot of people try to like kind kind of discredit them by saying like, oh, you're only popular and you're only famous because you're a rapper's girlfriend. And even though I will say there are a lot of opportunities that they got because of that, I don't think it takes away from the fact that no, they're kind of their own thing. And that's kind of what I want to dive into. So basically, right, like I was saying, Jada, India is kind of like her own category. We'll get to her, but it's like Jada and Ari, right? They were these poppin' girls, specifically Ari. She had a social media presence way back when, before social media is what it is. And when I think about her, I also think of India Westbrook. That when I think of who is social media and who was your first Instagram model, I think of Tory Burks. I never understood her last name, and India. Those were like, when Instagram first came out, everybody was reposting their pictures. Everybody just knew who those girls were. Without even knowing their name, you saw their pictures. And then when social media like started evolving into what it is now, I feel like Jada and Ari really jumped on that bandwagon quite quickly and quite successfully, because they were able to gain an audience that got them to the position that they're in now. So now we're going from being the popular it girl on social media to now dating rappers. Now, I get Lil Baby. I completely understand that. G Herbo, I don't really know. Like, when I think of like the top rappers out right now, he's just not that guy. Like, I don't know. Maybe I just don't listen enough. Because when I think of like it, right? When I'm thinking about the top rappers, you have to take into consideration that being mainstream is part of being the it rapper, one of the top rappers. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about talent. I'm just talking about statistically, all that stuff, sales, streams, things like that. It's like, do you hear a G Herbo song on the radio? I don't really. That's the thing, like, I don't really hear about him that much. I hear more about Pooh Shiesty, and Pooh Shiesty came out, like, what, 2 seconds ago? Like, you know what I mean? So these girls got into these relationships, and I feel specifically Ari, despite, you know, the G Herbo discrepancies, whether I think he's popular or not, he was a very popular rapper at the time, because I think that's when Rollin', like, first started popping off. And that's when couples goals was everything on social media. And I specifically remember Ari and G Herbo because of, it was one video, or it was one picture of her lace was lifting and he took out his bandana and let her wear it to cover up the lace or whatever. And this was like a very weird time in social media, I feel like, because this was when it was still pretty new, and just like the idea of couples goals was like everything. Everybody was posting the same pictures over and over again. I feel like India Westbrook was really into this wave as well. Like, she got onto that. But I think I kind of want to do like another video on the OGs, but we're not talking about them. So that was kind of like the main thing that I feel like really got Ari popping, was the whole couples goal era of the internet. I think that really launched her into a different category of just being like a cute girl that knows like pictures and stuff, the popular girl, to kind of more of a leader status. It kind of launched her into like a higher status because she was associated with a rapper. Now it goes into the baby mama pipeline. Now we went from all these high schoolers who idolized these internet relationships that she had, you know, a pretty girl with a hot rapper, And now she gets pregnant. Now, as an audience that's watching her, you have these young 19, 20-year-olds seeing that, and it's like, oh my God, they're having a baby. Now we're going to an era where baby showers and gender reveal parties were also popping off on social media, just in general with the public. So now we're basically watching these people that we think are cool get into a relationship. Now they're having a baby, and like, it's just such a big deal. And you know, the media goes crazy. The media goes crazy over relationships, breakups, weddings, babies. Like, they live for it. So obviously now this is taking her into a whole new level of popularity, because who doesn't like babies? Now your audience is really invested into your relationship because you're really public, you're really popping, and now you're having a baby. So now it starts to go into this weird, problematic era of the drama. And I feel like it was such a time to be alive back in this time. Like, I swear, because mind you, I'm like 14 when all this stuff is going on. So it's like I had nothing but time to like keep up with all these little celebrities, you know? So once we start getting into the drama, this is when the whole assault happened with Ari and G Herbo. And this is kind of like the famous video that pops off, and this is when the whole allegations of Taina come in, and him cheating on her, and then him beating her up over a chain. You guys know, I'm gonna put the clip in here.
I'm not gonna touch you.
Give her the child.
He beat the out of me clear as day. My ass hurting and black. I'm beat the fuck up. Ain't no to win. His ass going to jail. It's over with. You done.
Go inside. I'll be in there in a minute, okay?
Stupid. Over a chain. You a dumb.
Go inside.
Stupid ass. You stupid. I'm slapping your fat too for driving off in the car with my son.
Come on, go inside.
Y'all know not to play with me.
So we start entering into this era. We're gonna put a pin in this whole Taina and domestic issue. We're gonna put a pin in that because it comes up later, as we all know. So just keep that in mind. So now we're going to go into Jada and Lil Baby. So I'm not too familiar with their whole love story and all that stuff, because I feel like it didn't play out as publicly as Ari and G Herbo, because I feel like they were just really public about everything. Now, Jada, I feel like she's in her own separate lane. I maybe have a bias because I really do like Jada. I just feel like she is such a cool person. Like, I do. I feel like out of all the people on social media that do social media for a living, I feel like Jada is the most genuine. Like, you can really see her personality. I feel like sometimes Ari is more of like I kind of like you, but then you do stuff and it's like, you're kind of not a good person. I don't know. With Ari, she's just we're going to get to her. But in this time, it's kind of the same thing that I was talking about with Ari, is just like Jada and Lil Baby had the whole couples goals. You know, we have an it girl with an up and coming it rapper who's popping off. They get together. They have this whole social media relationship and this presence on social media. Then she gets pregnant, and then it's like, oh my God, the extravagant baby showers, the extravagant gender reveals, all this stuff. And now we're going into the era of like the problematic, you know? Now, with all this though, while we're talking about like all the baby showers and all the problematic stuff, you cannot deny that these girls took the opportunity that they were given and did something with it. Now, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, they're just a baby mama. They're just a rapper's baby mama. I feel like when you're talking about India, Royal, Jada, Ari, it's not the same thing. Yes, you can kind of downplay them in a sense, because would they be as successful? I don't know. I really can't say as far as like if I think they would be as successful, but I will credit them for giving they made something out of it. Like, you can't deny that it's one thing for you to get a platform, it's another to maintain it, it's another to, keep it going. A lot of people cannot stay relevant. That's why there's a lot of baby mamas everywhere, and a lot of them cannot keep up and cannot stay relevant the way that these girls do. So I feel like I don't want to say fair, but it's not really fair to say that they're just a baby mama, because there are a lot of just baby mamas out there. Because just like India, Jada, Ari, they have gotten brand deals. They have been able to captivate an audience and keep them interested in what they're doing. Ari, like, even though it's something so simple like club bookings, not everybody is just gonna go out for so-and-so's baby mama. Like, not everybody is gonna book a section and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? So you kind of have to acknowledge the fact that they're not in the same category as a lot of these other rappers' baby mamas. However, the whole reason I find this stuff interesting is because even though they were able to do things successfully in the sense of like making money, these people are still your average, everyday, regular people. And I feel like they forget that more than we as the audience do. And this is kind of where my video, really, the whole thing kind of got started, was because you look at Jada, you look at India, right? They have their fair share of like things that happen. Kind of Jada, just because Lil Baby cheats on her all the time and she kind of just stays, and she kind of knowingly stays. But if you think about it, she doesn't really get into things. She's not problematic. She's gotten in like petty stuff just because personally I think Lil Baby puts her in these situations, and then he slangs his thing and then hides his hand. That's the best way I could put it, because it's like, I feel like he puts her in these situations. Not really like, I don't feel like she outwardly goes and does things to get herself in these situations. So I think she's in her own lane in the sense of she's not problematic. She doesn't do anything crazy. Same thing with India. She's always been really quiet. Recently, she kind of started talking a little bit more, but like for the most part, she's pretty quiet. Ari, on the other hand, let's get into it. Let me keep doing my makeup because I keep stopping to talk. So I feel like a lot of the issue that comes with Ari, and I feel like a lot of reason why she gets a lot of hate, is because people feel the need to humble her. And although I will say some of the hate is kind of pushed a little bit too much, I won't say it's unwarranted, because this girl has no problem getting on these applications, calling people broke, calling them bums, and she just kind of, goes at it with people very much.
I'm the type of bitches that I am blessed to have in my life. Not you sensitive, punk internet assholes. Fuck y'all.
And I think the issue is that, I feel like the issue that sets her apart from like Jada and India and stuff is that no one really knows who she is. Because when you see, like, because I watch her stories sometimes, and I see a lot of people, when they put her on their stories, they always say the same thing, like, oh my gosh, she's so nice, she's so sweet, she's this, she's that. But then she gets on social media And then you see these videos of her with a really bad attitude and a really, you know, smart mouth, always calling somebody, but she is always somewhere calling somebody broke. Like, always somewhere calling somebody broke. And it's almost like, who are you? Are you this nice, sweet, down-to-earth girl that people that meet you in person say you are? Or are you this problematic, crazy girl who always feels the need to flex on people for whatever reason? I don't know. It's really weird because it's like, I think that's why she gets a lot of the hate that she does, because people just always feel the need to humble her, whether it's in the media, whether it's in the blogs, whether it's on Twitter. Like, it's just, I think that's where a lot of the hate comes from, because it's very easy to rag on somebody who is seemingly not a nice person. Let's say India comes on here and she's just like, oh, hey guys, I'm going through a lot right now. Keep me in your prayers. People would be like, oh my God, I hope everything works out. I hope everything's okay, da da da. Ari came on Instagram saying she was sick. I don't know if she was asking for prayers or not. But then everybody was like, no. Everybody's like, no, we don't care what you're going through. We're broke, right? We're the same broke people that you were calling us the other day, and now you're asking us for prayers. No. And it's like, is it right? No. But then at the same time, is it completely unjustified? Not really. Like, you kind of ask for it in a way. In a way, I will say, like, a lot of people on social media take it way too far. Like, obviously, we know that. A lot of people take certain things way too far, way too, like, you know. But it just, I find it fascinating because when I watch Ari's videos, right? When I watched her YouTube videos and I've watched like other videos of her and other people's stuff, she does seem very cool and likable and funny. But then it's like this flip switches where I guess it's like her online personality or something, where it's just like, you are not like fun at all. Or you just seem like a mean girl. You just come off like this big mean girl. And it's like, I want to like you, but then again, I can't, because it's like, you do a lot of things that are just like, what? Now, what's completely relevant right now and what people are talking about is the podcast that she went on. It was Don't Call Me White Girl. That was the podcast. And I watched the whole thing. The clips that were on the Shade Room before all of the backlash happened, I was just like, this sounds stupid. Like, this is dumb.
Now you gotta stop me from leaving. But I was never going nowhere.
Oh, yep, you talk to
Like,
her.
pull your gun out and show me, like, leave. I wish you would walk out the door.
Right. She from the side. She from the side. She's from Chicago.
You already put your gun out. I'm gonna just sit down because I got a son. I'm not trying to die. I got a son. So I'm only staying because I got a son. I don't want you to shoot me.
I had no context of the interview. I had no context of what they were talking about. Then I went and I watched the entire interview. I got context of what they were saying. And I was just like, oh, okay. You don't sound as ignorant. Because, I mean, that's what the blogs do. They take one portion. They take like, it was like an hour-long podcast. They took 2 minutes of it and they spun it into something else. Obviously, that's what like they do. So when you watch the full interview, you're just like, oh, it wasn't as bad. The comment that she made about the gun and she's being toxic. Hear me out. I get what she was saying. I completely get what she was saying. It was a lighthearted, ha-ha, key kind of situation. She was talking to the person on the podcast. They were having, they had great chemistry. They had great conversation, a good, back and forth. So I didn't see it as problematic as the blogs were trying to make it seem. Do I agree with what she said? Absolutely not. I don't like the romanticization. Is that how you say the word? I don't like it. Of people saying that, like, trying to make it cute, trying to make it normal. That's not normal. It's not funny. It's nothing. Like I told y'all with the whole Drea situation, when Drea said that about Megan Thee Stallion. That's not funny. That's not cute. That's nothing to be, glamorizing. However, in the context that she said it in the conversation, it was very much just making like a very distasteful joke with your friend. That's how I took it. I didn't take it as anything more, and I didn't take it as anything less. So do I think that the media spun this and made it into something it's not? Absolutely. Do I completely disagree with what she says? Absolutely. However, what I feel like completely turned this into something different was her live stream.
Oh, when I was in a relationship, this boy put out, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what happened to you, what trauma you had. Nobody cares. You trying to victimize yourself and use this. Oh, like this. Yeah, don't worry about my wig. Yes, child. Anyway, like, please, stop. You in the comments, you telling your stories about, nobody cares. We do not care. We don't care. We don't care. We do not care at all. Like, we don't care. We don't care. We just don't care. One time my boyfriend, so what? So what? And now what? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Y'all trying to victim. You want to be a victim so bad. Why you want to be a victim so bad? I know I look crazy. Y'all don't know, right? But like, we do not, I swear, I promise to Jesus, we do not care. Like, not this much. We don't care. Why y'all trying to victimize yourself and make this, guns.
When you watch the podcast interview, you're just like, oh, she seems like, like we've all been toxic. We're just talking with a friend. Like, we've all been toxic. We've all done this. We've all done that. We've all accepted things and done things that's like really problematic and really not healthy in a relationship. But we've grown. We've evolved from that. We've done something different. You know what I mean? You go from this, and it kind of seemed like she was, not enlightened, but, you could see the growth. Then you get on live, and you do this. Why? Like, why? And that's what I'm saying when I say that, like, you just don't know what she, like, are you cool? Are you nice and relatable like you were on the podcast? Or are you just this mean girl? Because it's like, it's one thing to just not relate. Like, I've never been in a relationship like that. I don't care what y'all got to say about it. This is me. This is how I am, whatever. Because, like, if you look at Cardi B, she got Offset's name tattooed on her after he cheated on her. She comes on here and she's like, I don't care what y'all got to say about it. I do what I do. That's what I do. If you're never going to get your man's name tattooed on you, that's on you. But this is what I do. This is how I show my love. This is how I show my affection. That's one thing. But to get on live and tell people about something very traumatic and very, people die from this stuff. Like, this is not getting your partner's name tattooed on you. Like, people die over this stuff. And for you to get on your live stream talking about some, I don't care, while there's also a video of you with the police for a situation. What? Like, you can't. And so I do think, like, and she, it's speculated that she lost her endorsement. I don't know if that was confirmed or whatever, but it's been speculated that she lost her Savage X Fenty brand deal. And this is what I'm saying when I said earlier, I feel like we don't forget that they're regular people, but they forget that they're regular people, because Ari has a history of being, that popular it girl, the Regina George. She's the one that everyone wants to be friends with. But then when you get bad girl Riri, okay, when you have someone who is actually the it girl and actually is not a regular person and is like the final boss, when you have somebody like that check you and humble you, it hits a lot different. That's why I think she's on this whole, because just recently she said she was going back to her community, giving back to the shelters and victims of, and I'm just like, because when you think about it, had this been any other situation, let's just say this was something else that was really problematic, but didn't affect her in the slightest bit, do we really think that she would be on this campaign? No. It's because, you thought, us commoners are down here. Us regular folk, we're down here. You're over here on the social status. Rihanna's up here. So, yeah, the media tries to humble you, but, we can't humble you because we're bums. We're broke. We drive Hondas and we, we're just, regular. We can't humble you. You humble us. You always want to put that on there. But then when somebody who has way more money than you, way more success, way more pull, when they cancel you, now is when you have this sudden change of heart. And that's the thing that I just find so, I don't want to say funny, but it's just kind of like crazy how like the tables turn. And once again, no one feels bad for you. And it's just like, I feel like the Rihanna taking the deal away from her was like the ultimate confirmation. Like, no, girl, you're just one of us. You may have a little bit more money than us, but you are most definitely still one of us. And so this is where I feel like things kind of get a little bit more sticky, because we're not talking about celebrities, because they are celebrities in a way, but like they're still accessible. You know what I mean? They're still, even though they have millions of followers and they have all this money and stuff, they're still accessible in a sense. And they make their money from being accessible. Like, you make your money from talking to your fans, having a social media presence. It's not like Ariana Grande, who Ariana can never post on Instagram, never go to a show, never do anything. Her money and her fame comes from her talent and her music. Sorry, my dog. Hold on. As I was saying, so it's not like the same thing. Like, Ariana Grande could never be seen anywhere, never post on social media, as long as she's putting out music. And even now, if she decides to walk away from music, she is still Ariana Grande. Ari, she has something to uphold. Like, she has to be accessible. She has to be somewhat relatable so that she keeps her relevancy and she keeps her success. And that's the problem that I feel like a lot of these people, a lot of celebrities just don't understand. Where it's like, when you were built off social media can end it immediately. And that's why you are just like the rest of us. You just got a little bit more money and, a little bit more popping people. But don't get it twisted. You're obviously not Rihanna. And I feel like when it comes to talking about these kind of people, like problematic people like Ari, right? You, like I've said over and over again, you don't really know their personalities, but at the same time, it's also like they are caught up in so many problematic situations. I don't want to call them scandals because like it's not that serious, but you are caught up in so many problematic things that you deem it as people. It's just another day of hate. People hate me for no reason. People don't like me because of this. And it's just like, no, it's not that, you know, something stupid like, you know, a fan caught you not saying thank you when you held the door, like, you know, being rude to a fan. It's not that. It's you say really foul, problematic things, and you do very problematic things consistently, and people consistently bring it to your attention. If you look at people like Nikita Dragon, just that clip that was like, oh, you know, it's just another, you know, people cancel me all the time. It's just another reason for them to cancel me.
I'm just like, whatever, it's another thing coming up. It's another person trying to like expose me. It's another person making like fake tweets or whatever.
They like really believe that they don't do anything wrong. It's just another day of being famous. And it's like, no, actually, you're kind of a bad person and you do things a lot that people try to like tell you, and you just don't care. So it's like, at what point is it like you're just not a good person? You know what I mean? And that's always the underlying issue with me and Ari, because it's like, I really want to like you because I do think you are cool. And I do think you're really pretty, and I think you dress nice, and I think you take really good pictures, and I am always and forever going to be jealous of her butt. Like, there is no other butt like Ari's, okay? I wish I had that. Whether it was homegrown or not, I want that kind of butt. Y'all seen it. But at the same time, it's like, that doesn't take away from the fact that you're kind of not a good person. And I really, like, I will say this until I'm blue in the face. I really hate that in society, having money just, you know, acquits you of anything. And that's her go-to thing. It's like, you said something really problematic, it really hurt a lot of people, and it's very triggering to certain people, and then you're just saying like, well, I have money, so I don't care. If it bothers you that, you know, I said something like that, you need to get a job and you need to stop being a bum. And it's like, what? Because I think that another thing is like, she comes across very, you know, like she doesn't care, but it's like, I mean, cool, I guess, but it's kind of crazy to me that maybe somebody was your fan, a huge fan of you, you know, goes to your bookings, goes to a lot of your clubs, buys the clothes that you promote, and, you know, they're actually a fan of you, and then all of a sudden they could even relate to you, because when the whole thing happened with G Herbo, like, you know, a lot of people can sympathize with you as like, wow, that's crazy, that's really messed up, like, as a woman who went through that myself, that's why I like you, that's why I support you. And then you go turn around and you say something really like, I don't care, nobody cares, just doing that. Like, that would be like, dang, I supported you. I was really, like, rooting for you. I was, you know, doing all that stuff. That's why I don't see why anyone in their right mind, I feel like if you're over the age of, like, 16, why do you look up to celebrities? Like, let's be serious. I don't understand why anyone, I will talk about this all day in a video just because it's content and I don't have anybody else to talk to, because everybody else in my life would not care. I cannot talk to a single adult of my age and be like, oh my God, did you see what Ari did on live, for them to care? So I don't know why. Like, I really think we need to stop as a society is looking up to celebrities. Just because you have money does not make you smart, does not make you a good person, and it sure as hell does not make you like this grand thing, especially when you're talking about people that got successful off of social media. Just because you know how to dress and just because you're cool doesn't make you any better than anybody else. Just because you were able to monetize your social media. Anyone can do it. Everyone is doing it. And yes, I will say, like I said earlier, I will give credit in the fact that she's able to maintain it and make something out of it. But at the same time, like, just as fast as you got it and just as quick and easy as you got it, it's just how quick and easy you can be taken away. So humble thyself. I look crazy because I'm waiting for this one to dry. So we're just going to go with one eyelash for right now. But I say all that to say, like, I just find it really interesting how there is like a subsection of celebrity as far as like rappers, girlfriends, baby mamas, and things of that nature, and how they use their platform. And it's just really interesting to see that just like 3 people are in the same situation and completely different ways of going about it and completely separate lanes. Like, I just feel like you can go the Jada route where you're just like ultra relatable and people like you because of your personality while still being like, you know, kind of private. You can have like the India personality where it's like you're just quiet all the time. You just pop up with your pictures and that's kind of all people know about you, and you know, little things like that. Or you can just be a complete Ari and no one knows the kind of person you are, and your brand is kind of based off being cool but also being problematic, and where you're on this weird. And I don't want to like compare all of them. That's not like, I guess it's kind of like a bad thing to say because I'm not trying to compare all of them because everyone's different, obviously. But it's just very interesting to me how you can be in the same position of like other people and use your platform and your resources completely differently. And I think it goes to show that, like, obviously we know that they're human. They're a regular person. But at the same time, it's almost like you can't hold yourself on this pedestal and try to humble regular people when you are. And I think that's why because I always go back and forth. I'm sorry if this is all over the place, but I always go back and forth because I'm like, why does she get so much hate? But then again, I'm like, why is she so popular? Because when I see her in a good light, I'm like, you know, why does she get so much hate? Like, why do people constantly have something bad to say about her? And then she does certain things and I'm just like, why do people support you? Like, it's a very mixy thing. And in a weird way, it's kind of fascinating and not commendable, but it's kind of crazy to me that she's still able to garner an audience, still be extremely relevant, and still have a platform. Like, it's just so wild to me. And then it also makes me think about, like, do celebrities, like, how does this work? How does celebrity stardom work? Because it's like, you just get a bunch of followers, but like, obviously, there's not a boot camp or something that tells you like, hey, don't say this. There's no like public relations workshops for these celebrities. They just get a bunch of money at one time and they feel like they can do and say whatever it is. But then again, you can't really fault them for that because they're just people, you know? They're just regular. Like, I always, when I get really caught up in all this stuff, I always think about like your coworker, right? Your random coworker. Not that great of a person, not that, you know, there's nothing super crazy. Imagine your coworker just becomes super popular on Instagram and super famous out of nowhere. That doesn't change the fact that they were still your weird whatever coworker. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if that made any sense, but it's kind of just like this weird thing where it's like, what do we do with these mid-tier influencers where it's like you're not a celebrity, but you're not like regular, but yet you still kind of are regular. You just have more money than us, but then I guess the money is what makes you not regular. I don't know. I would love to hear your guys' opinions, to be honest. Like, I'm telling you, I don't have anybody else that cares about this stuff because at the end of the day, all of this is stupid and irrelevant and does nothing for our economy. Okay, like, so, but I get it. But at the same time, like, I just really want to know what other people feel. If you're a fan of Ari, like, please let me know, like, why. If you hate her, like, please let me know why. I'm just very curious. And just kind of like your guys' thoughts on how like social media has really evolved and how like the video vixen, Instagram model, rapper girlfriend, baby mama, entrepreneur pipeline, like how you guys think about it, because I really get really fascinated with this kind of stuff, and this stuff is still not drying. My god. So my hair is not dry, so these braids are staying in because I have another video I have to record, and so I'm not sacrificing the braids. So anywho, I would love to know what you guys think about this whole thing, like this whole topic, this whole conversation, because like I said, I'm really invested in other people's opinions about this stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think about this video as well, as far as like if you guys like this style content, like the whole talking kind of commentary. This is like such a bootleg commentary video kind of thing. I don't know, I should probably step it up a little bit. But anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.